Hi everybody, this is Mariah with Gig Cleveland. Thank you for joining my channel. I do appreciate it. I wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way. If it's your first or fifth time, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications, and give me a thumbs up to make sure that I'm doing a good job. If not, thumbs down, that's fine. All feedback is good feedback. Thanks for joining me today and what I want to talk about. Well, there's a lot of content creators. Gig content creators are showing you how to get better gas mileage and how to, lower the effects of gas prices. And that's all great. That's why I'm not making a video about that, because there's plenty of good videos out there by good content creators. There's no reason for me to parrot the same thing. What I want to talk about today is something that, what I feel like gas prices are, and what's the reasoning, and what's the future, and what's the effect, and how it's going to affect gig workers. Now, number one, we live in a small world. That's first off. So we tend to think of things as DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub, or Instacart. But the gas prices are in effect. Now, a lot of people think it's because of Russia. It has nothing. That's a very small amount to do with it. A lot of it was back in 2020 when the coronavirus hit. Production went down to negative. It actually was $15 negative per barrel in March at one point, because nobody was traveling, production was cut. So it was around $30 a barrel in 2020, went up to about $62 by the end of 2021. Plus, there's a lot of other effects that are making prices the way they are. It's not just Russia-Ukraine conflict. There's also inflation. There's also paying people $600 and $300 every week, stimulus checks, running up the deficit, running up people's credit card debt, things like that, that affect the price as well. When you cut off production to oil, like say the Keystone Pipeline or other 3,000 other pipelines that this administration has done, that will cause prices to rise because you're down, basically dependent on other countries' oil. And as a disclaimer, I'm a political atheist. I don't like any political party. I'm more of a libertarian, paleoconservative that believes in freedom and liberty. It doesn't matter where it comes from. If somebody does something bad, regardless of the party, I will let you know about it. But I try not to talk about it because people tend to have strong feelings about it. Anyways, that being said, so those are some of the factors that are causing it to rise as well. It's not just one thing or the other. There's a cause and effect. Now, what this administration has done is they put a ban on all Russian imports as far as oil, energy, gas, wheat. Now, people think, okay, how is that going to affect the economy? Well, number one, it's going to affect it in a lot of ways. Wheat and fertilizer, 28% of it comes from Ukraine and Russia. A loaf of bread right now, you think it's bad, but wait until the end of the year, it's probably going to be 3 or 4 times the amount because of those prices. And what does that mean? It means that restaurant prices are going to continue to rise. Chipotle raised theirs 7% last year. They're talking about another 10% hike this year. And what does that mean? It means that the orders that are going to be good tippers are going to shrink. Now, I predict that the amount of drivers will shrink as well. Part-timers, high turnover on those. Full-timers some, but I think more part-timers, you're going to see a shrinkage of dashers because of that happening. It's just a fact. Less people are going to order out because they're going to try to save money because inflation is bad. There could be a chicken and egg scenario where it could cause people to order out more though too. Meaning that, well, if I'm spending $6 to sit in a drive-thru for 40 minutes with my gas, or 30 minutes or 20 minutes, like you go to Chick-fil-A and some of the drive-thrus on a Friday night, it's literally like 30 to 35 minutes in the drive-thru. Because people don't realize that you can eat in now. Not like it was in 2021 where it was just takeout only or just drive-thru only and just take out at the counter. A lot of people didn't realize that people are still stuck in pandemic mode thinking that everything's just drive-thru. And when I was at McDonald's yesterday, it's the same thing. I went to go to open the door, it was open, and then there was 3 other cars that actually pulled to the side of the parking lot, and they went in too as well. So a lot of people are starting to get out of that pandemic kind of thinking, which is good to see. So yeah, I basically just going over that, spend that kind of money. Well, wait a minute, why don't I just order and spend the $5 tip? That could happen as well. It's too early to tell right now. Oil did drop $12 today because of the possible talks. But I think that's just, I think that's lip service. I don't think that's going to keep the prices down. Prices are going to be this way for quite some time. Will it be $300 a barrel oil? I don't know. 200 is a very good, strong possibility by the end of the year. If it's $200 a barrel, what is that going to look like? Well, right now at $110 a barrel, it was $122 at the end of yesterday. It's $4.29 in here in Cleveland. So if you take the subtractions and additions to $200 a barrel, you're going to be looking at $6.39 here, probably as much as $10 a gallon in California. Now, there's a reason why they're doing this. And there's a bigger world out there than DoorDash and Uber Eats and than us gig tubers. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. And I'm not trying to be mean, but if they cut off production to fertilizer is needed to grow food, folks. 28% of that comes from those two countries. If that happens, you're going to see tens of millions of people starve to death in the next couple of years because of it, because of those policies. So I'm not for war. I'm for peace. No foreign entanglements. I feel bad about the people that are there. It's terrible that's happening, and I think it's wrong. But at the same time, these policies are not going to hurt the Russian people. They're going to hurt the Americans. They're going to hurt the Ukrainians. They're going to hurt the EU, because what it's going to do is the Russians, yeah, they might be the 11th country. They're a backwater country. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they have a lot of nuclear weapons. But Russia has something we don't have. They have titanium, 11% of the world's supply. They have nickel, 21% of the world's supply. They have wheat. They have fertilizer, 30% of the supply. All those are very big commodities to have. Hence, probably why they made their move, because they know they're strong. They know the United States is weak. Okay. That's the reason why they can handle that. Yeah, it hurts everybody, but it's going to hurt us more back here. And it's going to hurt the people in Europe if they cut off gas and oil to, of course, those other countries. That's neither here nor there. That's just a fact. It's not going to hurt them. Okay? Napoleon couldn't defeat them when he marched into Moscow in the 19th century. What makes you think the United States is going to do that? It's not going to happen, folks. Mark it down. Just saying. The media's claiming always defeat or whatever. It's not happening. And I don't have a dog in this fight. I know world history. I've read world history. I've studied world history. That's not the case. So, anyways, that's going to affect a lot of people. Would I say that gig work is going away? No, it's not. But I will say this. If you're not in a major market, the smaller markets are pretty much going to go to the wayside. They really are, because there's no way it could be affordable. If you have to drive 10 miles to deliver an order in the country, it's not going to be economical unless you're driving a Prius or, a Tesla. But even those they have issues too. A lot of people think the electrical cars are the way to go. Well, we don't have the infrastructure for it. Did you know that one supercharging station for Tesla takes up the amount of electricity as 250 homes? And they want to put they want to put 1 million of those superchargers. We don't have the infrastructure for it. That's what they don't talk about. You got Pete Buttcheeks, the transportation guy up there, whatever his name is. I don't know what it is, Pete Buttcheeks, however you pronounce it, Booty Cheeks or whatever. He's up there going, yeah, we're going to go electric and the roads are racist or whatever he's saying. I don't care. It's just that he doesn't understand the real world. We don't have an infrastructure for electric cars. Am I pro hydrogen fuel cell? It's more dangerous, but I think that if you have a system to contain the hydrogen, that is the wave of the future. Because hydrogen is ubiquitous. Lithium is a very valuable, limited resource. Also, too, when you're traveling, if you're driving a truck and you're doing this, yeah, it's going to hurt you. But if you're driving a Prius or if you're driving a car, like I'm getting a Corolla, it's going to get 42 miles a gallon on the freeway, 35 city. I'll be okay. If you get 25, you'll be okay. You just have to adjust. Look at different apps. Look at different ways of making money. That's the only way you're going to get through this, or go back to a W-2 where you're working from home. I'm interviewing with a company today. I just got off an interview, and the pay is $48,000 a year. I'm like, okay, work from home. Don't have to put any wear and tear. It's a little bit less than what I was making doing this, but I wouldn't have to travel. I could still do my gig work full time because I still like doing it. But the thing was, is like, the schedule was on call. And it's like, I don't want to be on call. I want to schedule. And the great thing about being a gig worker is I can choose, okay, I want this job or I don't want this job. I don't have to be desperate and say, oh, I need this job or whatever. Oh my God, it's so hard. And that's why people say, well, that's why I have a W-2 job full time, because I would go insane. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking people that do that, but at the same time, the reason why I like being a gig worker, even though gas prices are really high right now, is because I have the freedom. Freedom, you can either have freedom or you can have security. You can't have both, okay? You can have a little bit of freedom, but you can't have a lot of security. It's either or. That's just how it goes. And yes, it's more responsibility, but I feel at the end of the day, I made the right choice when I quit my full-time job a year ago. But finally, are they going to come down? Gas prices will come down, but it'll be to where it was probably now or a little bit later. I don't think they're coming down anytime soon. I would suggest, if you are smart and intelligent, and you live in the country, or if you live in where you have land, grow your own vegetables, grow your own food, learn how to make medicines. That's what I'm starting to do. I'm starting to learn how to make my own tinctures of, I was learning the other day how to make silver, colloidal silver out of silver dollars through a coffee pot. Sounds stupid, but just emergency stuff. You need to learn how to make a water filter out of sand, burning charcoal to make a water filter, or a makeshift water filter, and a bandana, in case the power goes out. You never know. I mean, these are things that we have to think about, not just as gig workers, but as people in the human race. I'm Brian with Gig Cleveland. Thank you for watching.